We are thrilled to present to you yet another captivating video from the renowned Ready for Takeoff series. This series is based on a book that has been expertly co-authored by none other than Raymond Lai and his daughter Yuan Lai. Welcome on board and have a fantastic journey ahead. As Isaac Newton once said, "If I have seen further than others, it is by standing upon the shoulders of giants." Teamwork need not be hard work, and nor does it have to be difficult. You just need to be willing to work on yourself, if you are ever to become an effective team player. Teams can often achieve much more than the work of an individual team member acting alone. For that very reason, organizations typically value teamwork above all else. Good organizations willingly reward and promote employees who can demonstrate that they are effective team players. When all is said and done, teamwork simply makes perfect common sense. Would you not rather have the support of a team than to have to go it alone? In this video, we are going to explore the 3 key aspects of being an effective team player. 1. Get to know your team. 2. Help your team to succeed. 3. Influence your team. First, let us explore how to know your team better. It goes without saying that, if you want to get along with your team members, you must get to know them first. By this, we mean that you need to do more than simply introducing yourself on the first day at work or the occasional greeting at the water cooler. We would encourage you to try out these ideas with your coworkers. 1. Make the first move. Be bold and reach out to others. Start out by getting to know your immediate team members. You could always set up a quick half-hour meeting or ask them out for a cup of coffee. Most people will welcome your invitation because they, like you, see it as an opportunity to form a connection. 2. Make contact with outsiders. It is also important that you make it a point to get to know the people outside of your team. Outsiders such as people from other departments, customers, or suppliers, can provide you with alternate perspectives and help deepen your knowledge. Your boss or your colleagues may be able to suggest people whom they think you should get to know. 3. Be sincere about getting to know people. If you are meeting somebody for the first time, then you may want to do some research on that person's profile beforehand. When you do meet up, show a genuine interest in getting to know them. Do not be shy about saying that you have much to learn from them and that you are looking forward to working with them. Having just started out, you may not have much contact with them as yet, but one can never tell when a connection may come in handy in the future. After you have gotten to know people inside and outside your team, you should map out these relationships on a spider map as illustrated here. The purpose of this exercise is to help you understand how these relationships interact with one another, how they affect you, and how you can make the most out of them. You can then proceed to map out what you should do to improve your relationships with them by using stickers as shown in the diagram. Now, you may pause here. Take a few minutes to map out how you would improve your relationships with some of the people in the relationship map herewith. The next aspect we are exploring is how to help your team succeed. When things go wrong or when you cannot seem to get along with someone, it is all too easy to point the finger at others. You get all upset, angry and worked up because your team members are not behaving in the manner that you would have liked them to. You can certainly try, but in most cases than not, it is very difficult to change the other person or people. The most obvious solution then is to change yourself. So, instead of putting the blame on others, you should look for ways to become a better team player. Your team members will learn to appreciate your teamwork, and possibly, be inspired to follow your example. These are a few actions you can take to become a better team player. 1. Understand the team's goals. To be a good team player, you need to know the objectives of each of your team members, what they do, and how your own work fits in with theirs. Then you will be able to perform to the best of your abilities to contribute to the team. 2. Be mindful of ego. The greatest barrier to teamwork is one's ego, hence, the main challenge is to overcome your own ego. Teamwork is all about thinking in terms of we and us, as opposed to ego, which is all about me, myself and I. We need to be vigilant in making sure that our self-interests do not get in the way of what is good for the team. 3. Treat others with empathy. When you are able to empathize with what your team members are going through, you naturally form a connection with them. If you care enough about your team members, they too will reciprocate with equal empathy. 4. Build trust. We should always mean what we say and do what we promise. When there is trust amongst team members, they are more willing to take risks and make sacrifices for each other. Trust, once earned, should be treasured and never taken for granted. Otherwise, it could just as easily be lost when one is betrayed. 5. Communicate openly. Good team players voice their opinions effectively and are comfortable speaking up. If you have sincere intentions, such as wanting to help your team, and you have thought the matter through, then you have little to fear by speaking out respectfully by ensuring that your opinions are courteous yet constructive. Here is an example of how you can become a more effective team player based on the role you play in your team. You may now pause. Think of the roles you play in your team, and how you can become an even more effective team player. Here are a few questions to help you. Now, let us explore how you can influence your team. Regardless of whether you are leading a team or you are part of a team, the ability to influence others will help you to achieve your own goals while still maintaining positive relationships with your team members. Influencing involves being able to persuade others to do something or to agree to mutually agreeable outcomes for all parties involved. At work, you may need to influence your boss to accept an idea, or ask for help from a colleague, or pacify an agitated customer. The first step in influencing is to identify which group the persons that you are dealing with fall into. Typically, you will encounter 3 kinds of people at work: the cheerleaders, the naysayers, and lastly, the fence-sitters. To be able to influence each group, you need to get an understanding of why they are responding to you in that manner, in terms of their reasons, objectives, and motivations. With that understanding, you can then determine the appropriate influencing strategies to apply, as we explain next. 1. Maintain cheerleaders. Cheerleaders are those who support what you are doing. They are cooperative because your initiative benefits them in some way, they respect you, or they simply believe in your ideas. Cheerleaders will help you achieve what you want to do. As such, you should make every effort to retain their support. Make sure that you update them about your progress, and take any opportunity to show your appreciation for their help so far. You want to get them as excited as you are about achieving the goals that you share. 2. Understand naysayers. Naysayers are those who oppose or resist what you are doing. It could be that they have different priorities, or they disagree with your ideas, or they feel threatened by your agenda. If you do not manage the situation properly, then it could become problematic and eventually lead to negative team dynamics. To get through to naysayers, you need to engage them in constructive dialogue. Find out the reasons behind their resistance. It is only when you have addressed their concerns that you will be able to shift the focus towards shared interests and look for creative resolutions together. To give you an example, a coworker is reluctant to give up her time for your project, as she has multiple deadlines to meet. Talk to her to address her concerns, and explain how the project will benefit the team as a whole. Both of you can then work out ways to optimize her time while still achieving the project milestones. 3. Influence fence-sitters. The largest group of people that you will probably encounter at work are fence-sitters. Fence-sitters are simply people who are undecided about, or indifferent to, what you want to do. You may influence them by describing the uniqueness of your propositions and benefits they will gain, addressing their concerns, and summing up with a call for action that will lead to a constructive outcome for all. Here is an example of how to persuade Eskimos to buy ice, to illustrate the application of ideas in influencing others. You may use the template to plan for influencing others on your propositions. Teams can and often do achieve much more than the work of an individual team member acting alone. For that very reason, organizations typically value teamwork above all else. Good organizations willingly reward and promote employees who can demonstrate that they are effective team players. Now you are well equipped to apply the techniques to become a more effective team player and advancing your career. If you're enjoying the content and would like to view more, I humbly request that you consider liking the videos and subscribing to my channel. Doing so would help me tremendously, enabling me to create even more captivating content for you to enjoy. Thank you for your support. Do have a great day.